Hi everyone, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and today I've got this fabulous project to share with you all using our beautiful Grande Snowflake stamp and die set along with our Sparkle Sentiment Builder stamp and die set as well. This is a really nice, quick and easy project that's going to be perfect for so many of your Christmas cards. So let's dive in and get started. This particular card is 5 inches by 7 inches, but of course you could adapt this to make it into any size that you wanted to. So I tend to trim my card blanks down from an 8 by 8 card. So I'm going to start off by just creating my base card. So I've got my card blank here and I've also got my guillotine. So I'm going to trim this down to 5 inches by 7 inches. There we go. So that then gives me my base card to work on. What I've then got, and I've already trimmed these bits down, is I've got a piece of just plain white card that I've cut down to 4 3/4 inches by 6 3/4 inches, and we're just going to stick that down flat onto the card. And the reason why I'm using this bit is it just adds a little bit of extra texture. It's just like a little extra mat on your project, so it's really nice and pretty, but it just adds that lovely little kind of finishing touch to your piece. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and then I've got another piece of white card and I've trimmed this down to 4.5 inches square by 6.5 inches, 4.5 inches, sorry, by 6.5. That's not a square, that's a rectangle. So it's just going to fit perfectly then on the front of our card like so. So you can see how we're building up the mats and layers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a clear embossing ink pad. So the one that I'm using is the Wow Clear Embossing Ink Pad. And I'm just going to grab mine. So it's this one here that I'm using. So this is the Wow Clear Embossing Ink Pad. It's really good. It's like a sticky ink pad, so it's perfect for holding your embossing glitters in place before you heat them. So I'm going to take my little anti-static bag. I'm going to give my card a little dust over. That's just going to get rid of any fingerprints that may be on there, anything like that. I'm then going to grab in my stamps. So I've got my stamps set up here on the little acetate sheet that they come on. And I'm going to grab in an acrylic block. Just grab one of my blocks. Oh, this is quite a large one. There's a little bit of paint on this one, so I'll just give it a quick wipe over. There we go. Right, so this is one of our acrylic blocks from the acrylic block set. You do get different sizes in this particular pack as well. So you could, of course, choose a smaller one. I've just got a larger one at hand today. So I'm going to go in and pick out a couple of these snowflakes. So I'm going to pick out this one first, which is quite a nice large one. I'm going to ink up my stamp and I'm going to place it down onto my card. So I'm going to do one in the top corner here, like so, and then lift that off. I'm going to re-ink my stamp. I'm going to do one in the bottom corner down here, like so. And then we're going to re-ink. We're going to do another one about there, like so. Re-ink, and then we're going to do another one about there. So we're kind of building the snowflakes up diagonally across the card. So what I'm then going to do is take a piece of scrap paper that I've got here. I'm going to lift that up and we're going to cover it with the Wow Metallic Silver Sparkle embossing powder. And this is a really nice fine silver, but it's got that beautiful silvery glitter in there as well, which is absolutely gorgeous. So we've covered that image over. Then going to grab our heat gun and we're going to heat this up. So we're going to hold the heat gun still. As soon as we see that embossing powder start to melt and change, we are just going to move the heat gun over the image. There we go. And then you can see how pretty that then looks. So what we're going to do now is take our little anti-static bag again. I'm just going to give that a couple of seconds just to cool off. And we're going to give that another little dust over. And then we're going to take one of the smaller snowflakes. Let me just see if I've got a smaller acrylic block to hand for this one. That will be a little bit easier. There we go. So I'm going to ink up the little snowflake. So again, just using that clear embossing ink pad. And then we're just going to dot these about in the background. So I'm going to put one there, pop on there, pop on there. Maybe one down here, maybe one here as well. Okay, so hopefully you can see where those tiny little snowflakes are. Then again, we're going to cover that with the Wow Metallic Silver Sparkle embossing powder. We're going to pop that embossing glitter back into the jar and then we're going to heat this up. So using our heat gun, again, we're going to hold that heat gun still. As soon as that embossing powder starts to melt and change, we are going to move the heat gun over the image. Like so. So I'm going to pop this to one side now and we're going to start and work on this gorgeous glittery snowflake that's so easy to do. So what I've done is I've taken the Grande snowflake die that you get in the stamp and die set, and it does actually match with the big snowflake that you've got on the stamp set as well. So if you want to stamp your snowflakes and then die cut them out, you can do, but today I'm just going to use the die. I've got a little scrap of silver mirror card and we're just going to run that through our die cutting machine. I've just got my Gemini set up to the side of me here. So I'm just going to run this through and then we'll grab that at the other side when it comes out. There we go. And then we'll just pop that out. Okay, so you can see how beautifully that snowflake is die cut. What I'm then going to do is take my Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue and I'm literally just going to scribble over the snowflake like so. So you want to just cover it all with your PVA glue. So I'll do a little section to show you, but then I have got one that I've already done that's dry, ready to use on the project. So this is a really nice, quick and easy Christmas card as well. If you've got loads of projects that you need to be making, this is going to be absolutely perfect because it's super effective. And of course you could bling this up, you could change the colours if you wanted to as well. Okay, so I'm going to do that bit there. And then we're going to take, and this is where the magic really does happen. So we're going to take our Frosty Christmas Sparkelicious glitter and sprinkle that over the top. So you can see that's got all different colours in there. It's got tiny little silver stars in there as well. It's so pretty. So when it dries, it's going to look like this one here. And you can see how it almost looks like it's crystallised. So I'm going to pop that back to one side. That's going to go straight back into the jar. Okay. And we'll start to assemble up. Actually, we won't. We're going to do the sentiment first. So for the sentiment, I've taken my Sparkle Sentiment Builder set. And we're going to take a piece of white card to start with. And we're going to pop our little sparkle outline on there. And then we've got the sparkle, like the actual script as a die cut as well. So I'm going to pop that onto a bit of silver mirror card. And then on your set, you've got lots of different little phrases. So you can build up sentiments on your card. So you could have Let It Sparkle, Born to Sparkle, Add a Little Sparkle. So you can really build up a sentiment. Or you've got 'Tis the Season to Sparkle, like I've got on here. Or we've got you could have Sparkle This Christmas. And for this one, I think I might do Festive Sparkle, just for something a little bit different. So I'm going to take the festive sentiment and we'll stamp that one out in a moment. And pop that onto my block. Okay, we're just going to run these two through the die cutting machine first. So let me just pop those on there and we'll run that through like so. And then we're going to grab that at the other side. There we go. And then if we lift that away, you'll see how we've got this beautifully die cut sentiment. Okay. So what we'll then do is we'll take a little pokey tool just to get the little sentiment out. So this is the sparkle part. So I'm going to just gently peel that out, and then we are going to take a little bit of glue and pop it onto the back. So what I tend to do is just very lightly glue this. Again, this glue with the fine tip applicator is incredible for just adding a little bit of adhesive onto here. Okay, and then this is going to go down onto here. And there we go. You can see how fabulous that then looks. Okay, so we're going to pop that on some foam pads ready to go onto our project. I've got a couple of foam pads here. These are, of course, our fabulous foam pads on a roll that I use so much. These are so good. So you can really kind of get in there with your foam pads. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to one side and we're going to start to layer up our base card now. So I've got the little piece that we stamped and embossed, and I'm going to stick this on with some foam pads. I'm using the 2mm ones to do this layer, just so then the card isn't quite as thick, so you could make this a little more postal friendly if you wanted to. I do like to put plenty of foam pads on my projects as well, because I hate it when you get little areas where bits sink in. So then we're going to just take the back off these. Like so. That's then going to go into my little rubbish bin over here. Okay, and then we're going to stick this down onto our base card. Like so. So you can see how that's all nicely matte and layered up, and you've got the different effects of the white on there. Okay, so what we're then going to do is we'll start to build it up and then we'll add the little jewels on afterwards. So of course we've got this beautiful snowflake that we're going to add on, and then we've got our little sparkle sentiment. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of manoeuvring to get things kind of where you want them. Put that on there and up there a little bit. So you are going to cover some of the snowflakes in the background, but I'm not too worried about that because we're going to add some little snowflake sequins in as well. So we just need to stamp and emboss our little festive sparkle. So then my little sparkle can come down a little bit because my festival's sitting there. So again, ink up our little sentiment. Give our little bit of card a dust over. And then we're going to place that down and press. And then cover that with our metallic silver sparkle embossing powder. So I'm going to go straight back into the jar and heat this up. Okay, and then we're going to take our guillotine. I'm going to trim this down like so. So just trim your little sentiment out. I just tend to do this by eye with my trimmer. So my little festive will sit up there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to bring the card in and start to stick some bits down. So I've got some foam pads that I've already popped onto the back of this snowflake. I've just trimmed them down from the larger ones. Just take the backs off of those. So, and then I'm going to stick that one down there. Okay, I'm going to put my little sparkle down here. The sparkle's going to go about there. I've got my little festive. So I'll grab a little bit of foam pad to put my festive on with. It's going to go there. And then we'll take the back off of here. Just put that in there, actually. That's a nice little gap there. So we've got festive sparkle. But then what really starts to bring this card together is when we start to add a little bit of glitter and a little bit of bling into the background. It looks a little bit plain at the moment. So what we're going to do is go in with our Dries Clear PVA. Just add lots of little dots of glue into the background. Like so. And then we're going to take our Crystallina glitter. So Crystallina is a lovely glitter that allows the colour to shine through from underneath. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that over the top of where we've just popped that adhesive. So just sprinkle that glitter over. Like so. Okay, and then that's going to go back over there. I use a little paintbrush just to dust off where it's stuck on my sparkle sentiment there. I'm going to add a blob of glue to the middle of my big snowflake. And I'm going to add a little bling stone into the middle of that one. So I've got a little silvery one here, so we'll go for one of those. So we'll stick that in the middle of there, like so. And then I'm going to use some of our gorgeous little Frosty Christmas sequins. So the ones that I really like for this project, you can see you get loads in the bag, are these little tealy coloured ones. So I'm literally just going to go in and just add a couple of these sequins into the background, and these are gorgeous. Like, these really elevate your project, but the little sequins are so inexpensive, but they really do add the most beautiful and luxurious kind of finished effect to your project. So I'm going to pop that one there, and then I think I'm going to take some of our little self-adhesive sparkles. Again, these are fabulous. Everyone needs some of these in your craft box. And I'm going to take my little tweezers and just start to pop these down. So I think I've gone for, on here, you can see I've gone for the little kind of crystal clear ones in the middle of the tealy snowflakes. I'm going to pop that there. That one there. That one there. So we're kind of just layering those up, and then we're going to start to add in some onto our gorgeous stamped snowflakes. So I'm just going to start to dot in these ones. There we go. You can see how fab this then starts to look. And then I'm going to take some of these little tiny self-adhesive bling stones and just start to drop these into the background and just dot these about, really. And that then would be your finished project. So as you can see, once it dries down, you are going to get a little bit of the silver shining through underneath that glitter, and it is going to look absolutely gorgeous. So I really hope that this project has inspired you. Again, you could make this a larger project if you wanted to. It's perfect for your smaller cards for posting, but it's a really, really pretty Christmassy project. So I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. All of the items that I've used are listed in the description below, so please do have a look. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have got loads of inspirational content on there. And of course, you can shop all of the products online at www.chloescreativecards.co.uk. I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye.